Hello everyone, this is Red with RedDragonLeo.com. I wanted to do this update for you here on Friday and just try to think ahead and see what I see in the market coming next week and for later today. I've been watching a lot here lately on the Olympics, and there's an awful lot of symbolism and an awful lot of things out there that are pointing to these Illuminati pigs as killing many innocent people in a staged false flag event, possibly false or aliens landing, staging it all. It's been out there. What's a lot of information. It looks very similar to what we seen before 9/11 and before the 7/7 bombings in London. And they did the exact same thing. They were doing all this preparation ahead of time for a possible terrorist event, and they're doing exactly the same thing now. Plus, there's a lot of it I see in Illuminati card decks, as well as the videos that they're putting out. Is all kinds of information out there. So it is something to be a big concern about. And the Olympics is the 27th of July through August the 12th. The only ritual date I see in there that actually works out to be a primary 11 date is the 28th of July, because if you add it all up in July, that's the 7th month. That's 0 plus 7, that's the 7th month, plus 2 plus 8, the 28th, plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2, there's your 2012. That equals 22, and 22 is a master number, and that is obviously the only date I can find that could be tied in with the Olympics. That's the second day of the Olympics. Now, the other ones, of course, August the 11th, because it ends on August the 12th. So August the 11th is obviously an 11-day just on that. But you add up all the numbers to it, and it's not an 11-day. It's because 0 plus 8 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2, that all equals, let's see, that equals 15. So I don't see anything significant there. 1 plus 5 equals 6. It's nothing there. So I don't know if it's going to be that date or not, but lots of videos out there pointing to this, folks. So it is some scary stuff, but I wanted to try to figure this out and match it up with Elliott wave. And remember, Elliott wave is something that was successful back in the 80s before the sheep got computers and could chart it ourselves. Only people like Robert Prechter was able to do it, and he hand did it, I'm sure, with charts and stuff like that he drew, and it worked. But once the masses caught on to it, it doesn't really work anymore. But that does not mean that you can't mix in technical analysis and try to figure out your wave counts based upon what you see in the technical analysis. And that's the only way I use Elliott wave. I do not use it any other way. So I wanted everyone to know that. So because I'm not an Elliott wave person, I don't have much faith in it because it is too easy to manipulate. Same thing with the exact same situation is with technical analysis. They obviously manipulate it. Sometimes they let it work, and sometimes they don't. So we really don't know for sure. But I am going to go with the prefaces that we are looking at the daily chart here in the FPX, and I'm just going to put red here, and I'm going to go with the indications that we are in primary wave 3 down, starting all the way back from the March 2009 low all the way up here to this. I believe this whole wave is called primary wave 2, and I believe we have ended it here. I do believe that it is ended. Okay, and I believe we have now started into primary wave 3 down. Okay, so we're in P3 down, I do believe. Okay, now, inside of that, you'll have smaller wave counts that go all the way out to this October crash for the next Legatus meeting that I believe is going to happen. But right now, I think we have started an intermediate wave 1 down. We'll call that intermediate 1, and it consisted of 5 waves. I believe here we had an intermediate wave 2 up, and I believe we are starting an intermediate wave 3 down. Okay, so inside of those smaller waves, you can see that we had a major wave 1 down for M1, and then the M2 here, M2, and M3, M4, M5, you get the picture, okay? Then inside your intermediate wave 2, we actually had a wave up here, a wave here, and a wave here. It is an ABC, which is typical in your wave 2 ups. You're usually only 3 wave patterns instead of 5. So while the possibility is still there that we could go up to this 1370, 1380, it doesn't line up with their bombing of the Olympic bombs that these Illuminati pigs are staging. So, you know, I pray it doesn't happen, but everything is pointing to it. Maybe all this exposure that we're get that not me but other people on the internet are putting it out there. Maybe they will fail this time around. I hope so. If people will wake up and stop it, but right now it seems to be on schedule for them to do some type of false flag event, a bombing, an alien false flag event in the Olympics. So, if I was to project out, it looks like we have started the first major wave 1 down. I don't believe it has ended. If you look at the scope here of this to this, you went from about 1420 down to about 1360. That's a drop of 80 points. That means if we went from 1360, we need to go down to about 1280 just to equal that. But remember, this is a wave 3 that's starting, so it could be much deeper than that. Okay, so I'm thinking that that is just the major wave 1 down, and that today it appears we're putting in this little positive day, and it's possible that they don't roll the server today. Today is an 11-day because it's a 22nd, but if you add up all the digits, it does not equal a yearly 11. It's only an 11-day just on the day alone. It's not a yearly one, okay? So it does have significance, like this last big down day was the 11th. So, but it was a one-day event, so I guess it just is not as powerful to the Illuminati as when you add them up all the digits together to equal it. And then it obviously, like right here, this 22 is a master number, so you do not add 2 plus 2 to equal 4. This is not a master number, so you would add those together, and you would get a 6, which really is not very significant. But this here stays a 22, and of course it's divided by 11, so it is 11. If it's divided by 11, it's a master number. So, but I think this major wave 1 is going to continue down into next week. We do have next week, you have 0 plus 6, you got the 29th. Now, if you add all those digits up, you do have a 22 on a yearly basis. 6 plus 2 plus 9, there's 11, there's 17, there's 5, that's 22, okay? So that is your ritual date. So it's very possible that they could maybe drop this a little bit more today, or I'm not sure if they're going to drop it today or not. And I'm not sure where they're going to go with it, but maybe they chop it around for a few days for a smaller kind of wave 2 before inside of this first wave down. You know, the smaller subsets. But I think this first wave down should be at least this 1280 area to equal the same distance from 1360 to 1280. That's about 80 points, which is the equivalent of this here, wave 1. But remember, we're in an intermediate wave 3 down, which should probably be about double the size of this intermediate wave 1. So if we go back over here to this blue, and you measure this point down here at, where did that go to on the low? 1290 something on the bottom there. No, I'm sorry, right here. 1266. So 12, let's see, it was actually 1422 minus 1266 is what? That is, let's see, 42 minus 4 is 38. Is that right? 38, and that would be, 138 points. So if you double that, just for because this is an intermediate wave 2, this here right here is our intermediate wave 3. If you double that compared to 1, then you times that by 2, and you're going to get 276 points. If my math is right. So 276 points from approximately 1360. That is what? 1360 minus 276. That is, well, that would be 160, and then add 16 points on the 160, 176. So that's about, if I got that right, did I get that right? Let's see, 200, no, I'm sorry, 1,076. So that means we should go down to probably right around this trend line here. This is coming in around 1,100, so it might pierce it, keep on going down just for this intermediate wave 3. And I really think that this is going to time out, that when we are in the green wave 3, which is the major wave 3, if we go back over here and just do this subsection of it, let's say from here to here for the green portion of it, which is the major wave 3 inside it, and the intermediate wave 3, and then we're in primary wave 3. That is a three wave combination, folks. That's 3 threes, and I guess I didn't do the right colors on them, but you get the idea. That is a primary wave 3 and a intermediate wave 3 and a major wave 3. It's at least 3 major waves, and I really think that could go right into the Olympics time frames, which obviously would be a very scary wave down. So as far as next week, I'm not sure yet, but we could chop around here a little bit before we drop for this remaining wave 1 down. And remember, it could go a lot further than this. I'm just saying that was just where that was the first wave down. So it very well could go down to this area before it bounces. And then it bounces maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks of the month into late July. And then that's when you have your 3-wave pattern, your 3-3-3 down. That would obviously be a very, very scary wave. But I want you to understand that after all of that's done, let's go back here and count some more waves after this is finished. And we go here, we're going to bounce up for a 4, back down for a 5, and then that whole wave count, folks, is some type of larger wave pattern. I don't know what you call it. I wouldn't call it an intermediate wave, but I would just call it, it doesn't matter. Names really doesn't matter. Let's call it a let's call it a sub-primary wave, okay? And that's just a wave 1 down. Then you're going to have a wave 2 into the October Legatus meeting, I believe. And finally, you're going to have some type of 4-wave combination with Legatus. I believe that's what's going to happen. You'll have all of these, the different colors, all added up to a 4-wave massive crash wave. All right, guys, that's it. I'm running out of time. Thanks a lot. I hope this helped. See you guys.